Welcome to Nebula Vaping. I'm Francisco. Today we're going to be talking about our new and exciting product we should be launching as soon as you can see this video. So once we post it, it should all be in the web store. We already have them in our brick and mortars if you want to come by and take a look. We're calling it the Nebula Vaping Advanced Vapors Pack. And what it is these two units here. And we're going to talk about what these are and why it is that they're advanced. So one of them is the atomizer and the other is the battery. They're not in one box, they come from separate manufacturers, but they are pretty much the best of the best that you can get when it comes to vaping and adjustability in vaping and really advanced features that the average beginner probably doesn't need to know how to do these things, probably doesn't want to do these things, but if you're starting to get into it and you really like it, this is a really good thing to get as your next step in vaping. So first we're going to talk about the atomizer, which as you know, the beginners out there know it's the top part of your e-cigarette kit. It's what holds the liquid and heats up and turns that liquid into the vapor, which is what you see. These are made by a company called Kangertech. They are the Mini Pro Tank 2 V2. So these are version 2 of the Mini Pro Tank 2, which is a Kangertech line that has received rave reviews over the past year or two, just because they're really, really great. A couple of features that ours have to make sure that they're original. They do have the authenticity scratch off thing. So this is actually like a lottery ticket. You scratch that off, there's a number. You can verify that number on Kangertech's website, so you can tell that it is authentic. There's a lot of clones of these, and the clones don't work as well. This is a bottom coil Pyrex tank atomizer. We call them glassamizers. Really, the universal term is pro tanks. This is the pro tank. The mini of it. The other pro tanks are slightly larger. Here it is. One of the things you'll get in the package is this authenticity, product authenticity certificate telling you how to verify the information. You'll get this little pamphlet here that covers the information on the unit, how to put it together, how to do some really basic service items, what they recommend as voltages for the certain resistance, and you'll see in a minute why that's going to be pretty important if you want to get into this kit. So here's what it comes with. It comes with the actual tank piece, which it has the laser etched Kangertech logo on it. It's glass. It's actually, this clear part here is glass. Let's see if we can get that Kangertech logo in this shot. Okay. These feature a removable mouthpiece, so you can clean this off if you want, or if you want to swap it out with a crazy design. You can get some that have some weird designs on some other websites. I like it because it's easy to clean. You can just pull this off, clean it if you want. If someone random grabbed your e-cigarette and used it, you can clean that off. The tank itself comes apart entirely, so you can clean this off really easily. You literally just grab the whole thing, you unscrew it, and here's the base, here's the glass tank, and here's the top part. There's rubber O-rings in all of these things to make sure that nothing spills. These are very, very, very well-built atomizers. So I'll put this part back together. Now, the coil itself, it comes with two coils, so you have your coil that you want to start using and one replacement. So this should last you quite a while. So I'm going to take one of these out. They come in these little rubber protective caps. You pull this out, you take this the air piece from the bottom, you take your coil, you screw the coil in to the base, like so. You take the base part, you take your tank, and you screw these two pieces together, like so. You'll notice it comes with extra O-rings. This is another thing that really only the original manufacturer does. The bootlegs sometimes don't come with these. These are replacements, so in case one of the O-rings does start to wear or fade, you might notice a little bit of leaking or air leakage, you can just swap it out and take care of the problem right then and there. So with such an awesome atomizer, we wanted to find the newest and the best type of battery that you can use with something like this that still has all of the features that you expect to comfortably be a vapor. So it's not a crazy mech mod or any of those things that are really extreme. It is what I think like the most refined version of the Ego platform, and it's this. It's the Ego V V3. And what that means is it's an Ego V, so it's variable voltage, and it's the it's the newest version of the device available. So it comes in this, again, really handsome paper, cardboard paper looking box. It's got nice weight to it. It feels like you're about to open, you know, Mont Blanc pens or something. So you crack this open like so, and what comes in this box is a quality control sticker check, letting you know that it did pass quality control, the date that it was born. This one was born December 25th, 2013. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. It comes with this little instruction manual, which gives you some details on the unit. It's written kind of small, but it's very legible, it's very well written. And then on the back, there's a little picture kind of walking you through the unit, some technical specs, and the main features of the unit. So I'm going to walk you through a good portion of these today. So what you get here is, here's the Ego V. Comes in this little plastic protector. This is the stainless model. It's also available in black on our web store and in store. We have both versions available. We do have a slight limited quantity for these. So if you want one, I'd say order one now, because you might not be able to get one and you'll have to wait till we can resupply ourselves to get some more at this price, because we'll talk about that in a minute. So I just wanted to compare. This is just the battery, and here's our Evo D 650 kit with the atomizer and the battery. So you'll notice it's quite a bit larger, but not so much so that it's uncomfortable. It's a little bit thicker. The weight's actually not that much heavier than the kit. So what I want to do, than the Evo D kits, what I want to do is kind of walk you through all of the features of the Ego VV, or the VV3. Really standard stuff. It has the 5-click on-off with the main button. The button's located in the pretty standard Ego spot. It's got one of the most interesting features. It has this display here towards the bottom, and I'm going to talk you through why that's important and what you can do with it. So it's variable voltage and variable wattage. When you first turn it on, it's in variable voltage mode. You can adjust the voltage from, I believe it's 3 volts to 6 volts. Let's just make sure, 6 volts. And then if you click it, yep, 3 to 6 volts in 1 volt increments. If you look at the display, it also has a little battery meter letting you know how much battery power is left in the unit. And that little V tells you that you're currently adjusting the voltage. One of the things it has that's nice, it has a lockout feature. So you hold both of these buttons down for 7 or 8 seconds, and you'll see that little lock logo down in the bottom right corner. You can click the buttons and it won't change anything. These buttons are really clicky. They feel really good. I'm kind of a button person and I like them. So it has variable voltage, but the other nice feature that this has is variable power, so variable wattage. You hold the positive button down for, I think it's 5 or 7 seconds, and it changes into wattage mode. Now, calculating wattage is dependent on the atomizer. It has a little chip inside that will automatically adjust the voltage based on whatever the resistance is of your atomizer to give you consistent wattage levels. Some people prefer to do it this way. It makes it a little bit more consistent. Some people prefer to do it the older way, which is just doing the volts. You can do it either way you like. I'd say let's play around with it. Find a setting that you like. If you'll see in the Tanger ProTank Mini 2 manual, there's a list of guidelines of, you know, if you're running it at this ohms, you should be at this voltage, and as long as you stick to those, you should be okay. You can go above and below, but you know, you do that at your own risk. So one of the other nice features of the Ego VV3 is it has a mini USB port at the bottom, and what this allows you to do is charge it while you're using it. So you don't have to unscrew the atomizer and screw it into the thing so that you can charge it. You can now basically use it as a pass-through. And that's the other box that's in the kit here. You can take a look. It comes in this nice little cardboard box. It's a standard USB cable with USB on one end and the USB mini on the other end. And you would just take it, you'd plug it into the bottom, plug that into your computer or any USB charger, and it'll charge it up while you sit there and use it. It's kind of nice. The display, again, has the battery, the battery meter, so you'll know when it's done, and you'll know how much charge you have left. This battery is 1,300 milliamp hours, like I mentioned earlier, and it's twice as much as the standard Evo D battery, which is 650 milliamps. So the 1,300 milliamps will last you twice as long. If you're coming from one of these Evo D kits, you can take the runtime that you get right now on average and double that. That's what you'll get out of one of these Evo V3s. So the last really cool feature that I want to show you on this Ego battery is when you take your atomizer and you screw it in, if you can see on the little screen here, when you start, as soon as the atomizer makes contact with the device itself, it'll flash at you the ohms, which is really cool because this way you'll know that it's still a good atomizer, it's not shorted internally or anything like that. And it uses that measurement to calculate the voltage when you're in wattage mode. I know this all sounds kind of complicated, but it's really kind of simple once you get into it. If you don't really care about any of that stuff, leave it in variable voltage mode and just rock it like that. A lot of people will do that, and they really just want it for the extra battery power. These will be on sale in our store and online for $55, which you'd be hard pressed to find just the battery for that. These original OEM Kangaroo Tech mini Pro tanks can go for, I've seen them upwards of $15 or $20. Regardless of what you can get them anywhere else, we're offering it to you at $55 with our same warranty and same shipping policies as everything else. Pretty much all that's left to do is I'm going to fill this tank up with some juice, and I'm going to take a couple vape hits off of it to show you how nice it is. So to fill these, really all you have to do is take the bottom breather part off by unscrewing it, like our Evo Ds and Evo D MT3s and our GSH2s. You take that piece off, and you're shooting for the sides there, not that center air tube, because that would just get it everywhere. Today we're going to feature our White Dwarf, which this one's a little bit special. It's like our normal White Dwarf, it's the same flavor, but this one actually contains no nicotine, and instead it contains a proprietary amount of caffeine. So one tank about this size is equal to 3 cups of coffee. We recommend that you don't consume more than 4 milliliters of it every 24 hours. That's because, just like you wouldn't have 20 cups of coffee in a day, you don't want to do that with this. Also, don't use it, some of this stuff's going to seem like common sense, but you never know. Don't use it just before you're trying to go to bed. It will keep you up. It's caffeine. Like if you drank a cup of coffee right before you tried to go to sleep, that wouldn't work out too well. So to fill these, same as all of our other ones, you take the dropper, you put it to the side, and you squeeze, and you watch it fill the tank with the liquid nebula. That's about as far as I usually go. You can go more. I'm going to show you that. You can go up to about there, which is almost entirely full. These have a slightly different internal structure, so you can fill them a little bit more than our normal ones. That's another one of the reasons this one's kind of advanced. You take this bottom piece. I like to go counterclockwise a little bit, and then you'll hear like a little click, and then I like to go clockwise. What that does is prevents you from cross-threading the threads inside, and just make sure that every time you tighten it, you're actually tightening it correctly. It's something I picked up from some engineers that I knew as friends. Then what you do is you flip it back over, and you'll see all these little air bubbles starting to go up. What that means is the juice is starting to get into the coils, and just like our MT3s, you want to take a couple priming hits, and what that does is it allows the juice to get into that little coil that you put in there, so that your first hit doesn't just taste like burning. And it really also helps the atomizer's lifespan. So I'm going to pop this on here, and you can see it's telling me if you look at the screen, it's telling me the resistance of this atomizer, and it is 2.5 ohms. I'm going to adjust the voltage to About 3.8 volts, 3.8, anywhere between like 3.5 and 4.0 is probably fine, and you'll get to fine tune that. That's one of the cool things. To prime these, like all of our others, you just take a couple hits without pressing the button, and you only have to do this when you swap out the coils. You'll see some couple little air bubbles kind of filter up through there. That just means that it's getting primed. There you go. Once you're satisfied that it is primed, you can just press the button and start vaping. Vapor production on these mini Pro tanks is fantastic. It's really nice that you can vary the voltage on the battery. It allows you to adjust, like if I'm at work, I don't like making huge clouds. I don't like drawing that attention to myself. So I turn it down actually. If I have a variable voltage mod, I'll turn it down to like 3.3, so I don't produce as big a cloud. I still get, you know, good flavor and a decent throat hit. It's just that cloud isn't there anymore. And if I'm hanging out with friends and we're trying to, you know, compete, chasing clouds and whatnot, I'll turn it up to about 4 and take a hit like that. That pretty much concludes all the information we have to talk to you guys about our advanced kit. If you have any questions that we didn't cover or any comments on our hardware selections or anything like that, just drop us a line. All of this hardware will be available online now, and the Liquid Nebula caffeinated line with the expanded flavors will be available, I believe, now as well. So you can go on there and order those. Now, again, this is one of those things that the first batch was kind of small, so don't be surprised if in like a week we say that we're slightly on back order. I'd say order as soon as you can to make sure that you can actually get some of this. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, either email, Facebook, or through the web store. Thank you.